Okay, so you've done the routine checkup, right? Cholesterol, blood sugar, blood pressure. Everything comes back normal. And yet, you feel more tired than you should. You recover slower. Something in you feels older than the number on your ID. Sound familiar? Here's the thing, those yearly tests. They don't actually measure that. They're a snapshot. A photo of today. But there's a set of markers, ones longevity researchers have been using for years, that show something completely different. The actual pace of your aging. And what these markers reveal might surprise you. Stick around, because the third one is the one that catches almost everyone off guard. Let me be real with you. There's a difference between chronological age and biological age. One is just a number, how long you've been alive. The other is what actually matters. It's how well your cells, your whole system are functioning, compared to what's expected for your age. And longevity researchers have been watching a few specific biomarkers for decades. We're not talking sci-fi, ultra-expensive tests here, but they're also not the ones showing up on your standard checkup. Most people have never even heard of at least one of these three. And that third one, that's usually the one that surprises people the most. Let's go in order. So I pulled together the 3 biomarkers that longevity science considers most relevant for understanding your real aging process. For each one, I'll walk you through what it is, why it matters, and most importantly, how to bring it up with your doctor. Because yes, some of these can actually be ordered. And keep this in mind, the last item on this list connects directly to a hidden habit I'll get into afterward. They work together. You'll see exactly how. Let's start with the first one. Telomeres are kind of like the plastic tip on a shoelace, you know? That little cap that keeps it from fraying. Same idea here. Every time a cell in your body divides, those caps, sitting at the ends of your chromosomes, get a little shorter. Take Linda, for example. At 68, she got a telomere test out of curiosity, after reading about it. The results showed her telomeres were shorter than average for her age. But her doctor explained something important. That's not a sentence. It's an indicator. Why does this happen? Studies suggest chronic stress, poor sleep, a sedentary lifestyle, and ongoing inflammation can speed up that shortening process. What can you do? Well, here's the good news. A lot of those factors are within your control. Quality sleep, regular movement, managing stress. Research suggests all of these seem connected to telomere preservation. And when should you worry? This test isn't standard for everyone yet, but if you feel like your body is aging faster than it should, it might be worth asking your doctor whether it makes sense to look into it. But telomeres are just piece number 1. There's another marker that talks directly to this one, and it's tied to something you've probably heard of, but never connected to aging. You've heard of CRP, right? No, not the COVID test. C-reactive protein, and specifically the high-sensitivity version of it. This marker measures inflammation in your body, but not the kind you can see or feel. No swelling, no pain. I'm talking about silent inflammation. Low grade, just sitting there, in the background, all the time. Take Robert. 64 years old, felt fine, no pain anywhere. But his high-sensitivity CRP came back elevated. His doctor explained that this type of chronic inflammation has been linked, in research, to higher cardiovascular risk and a faster aging process overall. Why does this happen? It can come from a lot of places: diets high in processed foods, excess belly fat, lack of movement, even chronic dental issues, according to some studies. What can you do? This test, unlike the telomere one, is actually more accessible. Most standard labs can run it. Worth asking your doctor if it makes sense for your situation. When should you worry? If you've got other cardiovascular risk factors, family history, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, this test can add another layer of information. But only your doctor can interpret it in context. And here's the thing, this inflammation marker connects directly to the next one. Some researchers actually call this next one a kind of control panel for a lot of what's happening in your body. And here we are, the one that surprises people the most. IGF-1 is a hormone. It's directly tied to growth hormone, the one that's, yes, super important during childhood, but that still plays a role in the adult body, especially when it comes to aging. Here's the curious part though, too much, or too little, isn't ideal. Both extremes, IGF-1 levels that are too high or too low, have been linked in studies to different aging-related risks. Susan, 61, got tested after a routine recommendation for something unrelated. Her results came back outside the range considered optimal for her age. Her doctor talked with her about some possible lifestyle adjustments. Why does this happen? IGF-1 is influenced by a bunch of factors: diet, sleep patterns, body composition, and according to recent research, meal timing habits too. What can you do? This test can be included in routine blood work, but it needs careful interpretation within an age-appropriate reference range, and that's something only your doctor can do. When should you worry? If you're noticing signs that your metabolism isn't quite working the way it should, unexplained weight changes, shifts in energy, sleep issues, it might be worth bringing this up at your next appointment. And this is exactly where it all comes together. Because there's one habit, simple, free, something most people get wrong every single day, that directly affects all three of these markers: telomeres, inflammation, and this hormone. Let me tell you what it is. Remember at the beginning, I said the third item would surprise you. And remember I mentioned there was one habit connecting everything. Well, that habit is sleep. But not sleep well, in some vague sense. I'm talking specifically about sleep schedule consistency. Chronobiology research suggests that sleeping and waking at wildly inconsistent times, even if you're getting your full 8 hours, can have a measurable impact on inflammatory markers, like that CRP we just talked about. It also seems to influence hormone regulation, including hormones in the IGF-1 family. In other words, it's not just about how much you sleep, it's about when. Most people focus on getting 8 hours and completely ignore consistency. Bed at 11 one night, 1 a.m. the next, weekends totally off schedule, and your body, it doesn't love that. It's got an internal clock that's expecting predictability. So if there's one simple and free thing you could adjust this week, that could potentially impact all three of these markers. This is it. Try keeping your sleep and wake times roughly the same every single day, weekends included. Sounds small. But according to the research, that small thing can have a cumulative effect that's way bigger than most people realize. Okay, so quick recap. Telomeres, which show the wear and tear on your cells. High sensitivity CRP, which measures that silent inflammation. And IGF-1, the hormone that works almost like a control panel for your aging process. Three markers that, together, tell a much fuller story than that basic yearly checkup ever could. And the one habit that ties it all together: sleep consistency. That's it. Quick reminder, this channel is for educational purposes only and doesn't replace medical advice. Always talk to a qualified professional before making any changes to your health, diet, or lifestyle. If any of these tests make sense for you, that's a conversation to have with your doctor. So, had you heard of any of these three before? Let me know in the comments which one surprised you the most. And if this video helped you understand your body a little better, drop a like and subscribe. There's a lot more like this coming.